Alright, so I'm just gonna kind of show off here how to, or how I do the 109s. Looking at no more than 3 coin repair per hit. However, there is a way to do that for even less. It's just called patience. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and show you my build, um, and then I suppose I'll show you how to go about hitting one. The main thing to think about with the builds is it's always down to the tank. I mean, I'll talk about the spotters or the remote ships afterwards. So this is mine and what I use at the moment. Savage Kodiak. Uh, Not much to say about that. It's just a blank ship and it's to be sat in the corner and it's there for the missile defense and missile defense bonus only. This is my tank. Now this is an Apollo, which seems like a strange tank to use. Um, I'll go about telling you how I got this. I didn't have anything when I came back to the game that really allowed me to do the mission. Although they'd said, they being Kickside, that if you had a fleet that can do the current target, you can do the new one. I had a really good Rhino and Jug X fleet that I used. Well, that didn't work. So I had to be creative. Um, Apollo was the first ship I won upon return, and I loved it. I built 2 fleets, one with missiles for the raid and one with launchers for the old 107s, and the ones with D98 were fantastic in the old targets. In these new targets, they do terrible. So I had to be creative, and I changed them and made them spars. Um, I have got multiple of them. There's one there. There's a couple somewhere else. I have 4 in total. I did build 4 because my old fleet was obviously 4 Apollos with a Savage. So this is what I've done to them, and they work fantastic. I've tried to use tech that I know is readily available to most players, so somebody who should be hitting the 109 should definitely have this tech. So let's just run down what we've got. The D98U is there for spotting purposes only. The reason I went for that over a missile, um, just to free up the special slots. To use a missile, you will have to use a special for extended range. This you don't. So that's the most range we can have on this ship without using any specials. That's why I chose that. As for the other slots, they're filled with countermeasures. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Hailstorm Cs and 1 Hailstorm B. They are there for the explosive defense, not to shoot down morts. I mean, they do shoot down some morts, but that's just a bonus. They're that fast. This ship is so fast that it does not need to do that at all, to shoot down morts. Missiles, you would like to shoot some down. I've gone with a Phalanx 4, Phalanx 2, and another Phalanx 2. That brings up the missile defense a little bit, and it shoots down a decent number of the missiles actually. You'll find that from what I've seen anyway, the missiles hurt you the most in these. I spent a good few coins, let's say, refitting this fleet, tweaking this fleet. I've tried X armor, M armor, evade armor. I've tried a different number of groupings of hailstorms, gale storms, phalanx, switchblades, you name it. I've tried different things and tried to really perfect this, and this is the best I came with. Um, that's why these only hails. They don't need to be gales. It's a waste of your limited specials and limited weapons rather. For armor, 1 D5E and 4 D2Es. Obviously D5E gives more evade than the D2E, but for weight purposes you can't fit all D5, so 1 and then the rest 2. Uh, they are R15. You can assume most of my stuff is R15. I tried to, when I build a fleet, get everything perfected. So the countermeasures are R15, the evades are R15, the specials are R15. And those specials will consist of Speed System 5, quite a basic box standard speed special. Siege Battery 3, again at R15, gives you that building damage, which is all we, the turret defense, which is all we want. The building damage we couldn't care less about. Countermeasure Loaders 3, I use that for the reload on these in case I decide to use them for something. If they do shoot stuff down, missiles obviously I'm using, so it makes sense to use that. Ablative armor, self-explanatory. It's for the frostbites. R15 gives you a nice 81.7%. That really helps. I'll go through the overall stats on the right hand side here. And Guidance Scrambler 3, R15 again, you need that for the evade. Don't waste Agility 4 on it because you get the same evade in Guidance 3 as Agility 4, and you're not wasting a limited special. You don't need any other bonuses from Agility systems, so this will do fine. Quicker to build, weighs less as well. A quick thing to point out, I know some people might have already picked up, the more beady-eyed viewers. Yes, I use Siege Battery and Countermeasure Loaders instead of the mixed special, which I can't even remember its name. Let me find it. It's the one that gives turret defense and countermeasure bonuses. Frontline countermeasure system. I could use that instead, and that will be 2 specials for the price of 1. I would recommend you probably do use this one over my choice. Like I said, you don't need the defense building damage, the bonus building damage. The reason I use these two is they were already on from when I had the previous fleet. I did want the building damage with the previous fleet because they were all launchers and I wanted to kill them quicker. So I did need the building damage. That's why these are on. The only reason I haven't done it now is I don't need to do the refit. I'm sure the fleet could be a little bit better if I took those two off and put on the frontline countermeasure system, and then in the absence of one of the specials I would definitely put evade upgrade, but there is really no need. It won't be saving me coins. I don't think it will be less than 3 coins, or an extra, maybe it will save me 5 or 10 minutes of repair. That's not really a great reason for me to spend days changing specials, so I'm going to leave that as is. But for your reference, if you want to build this ship from fresh, maybe you want to use the frontline countermeasure system in place of this, and evade upgrade. So let's look through the stats here. Armor is 17,400. You can do 109 in completion without losing the ship, so that's fine. Damage irrelevant. Reload is irrelevant. You get anti-mortar range 55, countermeasure range 50. Kind of contradicting, but let's go with the anti-mortar range there. And you get the accuracy at 35 as well. That's from here. Do note that you'll get that from countermeasure, frontline countermeasure system special. Building damage is irrelevant there, so that's the attack over with. Defense. This is where the ship comes into play with its evade and the good ratios that I came up with. 75% evade. I'd boost that with a crew. I'll show you that in a second. 90% explosive defense. 69 penetrative defense. You might think that penetrative defense is really low. It does seem low on paper, but trust me, if you mix that special with an MX3, you will take more damage. I have tried MX3, I've tried reactive, I've tried ablative. I've mixed these up and put more phalanx, and you know, the explosive defense is what was hurting me, and the missiles were hitting me regardless. I needed the evade, because once I put the evade on, that was a lot better. And I'm shooting down pretty well with these, the Deadeyes. So, trust me, you don't need to have that stupidly high. You just need good evade, and good explosive defense, and a mediocre penetrative defense. Especially if you're using a Savage, which I am, so that 69% does become a lot more, but it doesn't need to be 97% or whatever, something stupid. You don't need that. I've seen people use Horlock Citadels. If you're struggling with the mission, don't bother. Just use a fucking Savage. If you have the Savage, use it. It actually would help you better. The Horlock Citadel is more of a... I don't know actually. I can't explain why anybody uses it over the Savage. But that's just me. I think that it still works, but you don't need to use the Horlock Citadel. The Savage is more preferred for your defense, as then you can put ablative on. Turret defense 50%. Your deflection of 500 assault, 200 siege comes with the hull inherent. No way you can boost that. Movement 26 combat speed, 32 combat turn speed. That does increase with the Apollo. That's just a base standard speed, of which you can see here is a bonus 150%. So 150% of 26, let's do quick maths. 100% of 26 is 26, so two of those is 52. 50% would be 13, so you're looking at 65 combat speed. Rough numbers there, maybe I'm a little bit out. 65 combat speed when it's fully going in its accelerate ability. Turn speed 32, you'll be looking at enough to 200% of 32, 64. Yeah, it's plenty of turn speed. I wouldn't even bother looking at the turn speed. It's fine. You don't stop. You don't get the max stop time. It's as simple as that. There's your repair. 2 hours 42 minutes if fully dead. Now I just want to quickly show you. I need to grab a Huggies link up real quick. I should have had this done in preparation. Savage Kodiak in there, and we'll stick an Apollo in here. We're gonna stick. Look at the defense of the missiles. What do we have? 4 Phalanx 4, and there's 2 Phalanx 2s on there. That's it for missile defense. You're looking at 81.7. We do have siege battery as well. Turret defense missile is 92. That's perfectly fine. You don't need to worry about grabbing that stupidly high. And that's from the Savage. So that's that done for you. That's just showing you the bonus with the Savage. I think that's about it for the fleet, or at least for the Apollo. Legendary, get it legendary. Why wouldn't you? You can build it fresh with a few cheap missiles and just rank it really quick, or you can just suicide it all over and over into the ranking fleets at the end of the raid week, which is what I did. But they were ranked from the previous fleet, so they were a lot easier to rank. But you know how to rank a ship. This is not a video for ranking ships. My Vendettas that I use are my base hitting Vendettas. I have not tweaked these in any way for the mission. If you want to see the build, it's here for you to see. As long as you're using morts, I don't see how you can be failing. It's just a Vendetta fleet. Any mort fleet which fires remote target is completely fine. Specials are irrelevant. Again, you won't be needing that. It's just there because it's a base hitting fleet. The only thing you do need, and I say need as in what you do want, you don't necessarily have to use it. It does make hitting the target a lot easier, from which you'll see when I hit one. Some Gales. I have 2 Gales on this with the countermeasure loaders 3. I have 3 of them, so there's 6 Gale 2s on the fleet to accompany these. This is why I said I didn't really need loads of Gales on the spot, because anything that fires behind, they will shoot down all of the morts from the citadels. The crew I'm using is a Sea Serpents for even more stupidly high turn speed and the extra evade, which, let's go back and show you what the evade will be. On our Huggies link, we have one D5E and the rest are D2, and we're running guidance 3, which is already R15 on mine. Yep, all good. So evade is 70.1. I'm going to recommend you use this crew. 77.3, there you go. It boosts the evade to that, and it helps a lot. I've tried Steelheads, and it's not as good, so stick with this. Right, let's go and find a 109 that's not being gutted, because people do that. Let's also fix something. That'll do. We've got a crew on. I'm going to show you how to go about hitting the target with this fleet. It's pretty standard and what you might imagine you would hit the target like with another fleet, whether that be citadels or whatever you want to use really. I need to move hot because these people are very unhappy with me in this sector. Apparently they don't appreciate being hit, and they don't appreciate you saying it's for res when you flatten them. Although in my defense I did need the res. Okay. You want to go in from this northeast side. You don't get fired at upon entry, and it's just easier for the movement. We're going to do an anti-clockwise circle of the target. So here's what I do when I go in. I'm already zoomed out. Number 1 ship goes up there, number 2 goes up there, Number 1 up there for Savage, it needs to be out of the way. The Apollo to get speeding up down that little drag strip that I call. 2, 3, and 4, sorry, 3, 4, and 5 go there. You can use all these macros that everyone seems to be obsessively hyped over at the moment, but it doesn't seem hard to be able to drive. That's going to stay up there, and I don't need to worry about that. I move this up here and round. I don't want to send it straight forward because I don't want this Frostbite to fire onto my Vendettas. I'm going to pull my Vendettas a little bit forward. I'm going to target all ships on that middle turret. Select number 2, which is my Apollo, and just bring it down into the target so it fires onto there. And then I'm going to go straight across the front and head back home to the Vendettas. By the time it gets there, this is all dead. There should be enough morts in the air now. We'll start pulling it back. You can see it shooting down some of the missiles, and some of them are evaded. Simple as that, that was easy. So now we're going to send number 2, our Apollo, just up there. And we're going to bring in the Vendettas to take on this little platform here. The most annoying platform to hit, because what I want to do is select all ships and target that missile there. There we go. And shift target that one. And start bringing this. I sent that way too high. I like to do that because this moves a lot faster than the Vendettas. It just gives it something to do, stops it from slowing down. You'll find these things die really fast with morts. Pull it up a bit so they don't fire onto my Vendetta. There we go. Easy as that. You'll find that the Vendetta is in range of the Citadel. Makes no difference. I'm going to let the morts land. Shoot them down, actually, the ones that are near. Okay. We're going to pull your Apollo up high and start moving your Vendettas around. It doesn't matter that the Citadel fires at the Vendettas, because the Vendettas can fire every single mort down with the 6 Gales on the fleet. So I'm going to bring these forward a bit more. I want to be targeting this corner turret here. So they want to go forward a little bit more. Bring my Apollo down. It's going to automatically fire at that first, the top tower, and then the rest will finish off the turrets. Now I'm going to fire at the Citadel on the way back, and we're done. That simple. Looks easy because it is easy. It's just about keeping these back and using this strategically. You can just leave this standing, but I like to move around because it looks cool and I don't want it to stop and just become really slow. You may get hit by some of these mines. I don't care about the mines. They don't do enough damage to me to consider changing the fleet to some mine detection. I'll just plow through them. It works completely fine. Now the Apollo on this bit just comes straight down this north to south style. Pull the Vendettas in now. Yep, they're going through the mines, but no one cares. You want to get targeted on that turret. Now pull your Vendettas around. This is the longest bit because it's going all the way around here. I feel like I've taken more damage than I did last time, but sometimes you do. You know, you get into a routine of hitting. It gets tedious because you hit so many of them, and it feels like you're doing the same boring tasks every week. But it's a necessity in the game to continue and keep up to date. It doesn't take awfully long to do. Until they fucked up the blitzing, it was a really effective way to just blitz if you wanted to just spend 3 coins to blitz it. But now they're asking me for 10, so well, they can fuck a duck with that. Be cheaper to do it each individually. Ooh, bit of lag. Fantastic, I love lag. Now bring your Vendettas up for this last corner. You just Gonna pull the Vendettas up this straight. My phone is buzzing. I'm busy. Go away. Now the Vendettas are in position. Pull the Apollo inward. Ignore the Citadel completely and target these turrets. Turrets is what are doing the damage, not the Vendetta. That should be enough to kill them now. There we go. Now I'm going to pull the Vendetta straight up because I want to kill that Zoe's Rhino. I don't care about the Vendetta. I'll kill the Citadel. I'll kill it with my rockets as I go past. Or morts. Just make sure the Apollo doesn't get further away than the Vendettas to the Zoe's Rhino, otherwise it will fire on your Apollos. If your Apollo pulled too far away from the Rhino and your Vendettas were closer, it would have fired on your Vendettas. Missiles don't like Vendettas. Or rather, Vendettas don't like missiles. Grab that last little target there. I'm going to hope I don't get sniped, and I'm going to purposely not come out hot just to show you the final screen, you know, points payout, repair, etc, etc. I didn't really say I drove my best, but it did the job. There's a little under half the ship alive, so only damage to the fleet. Thank you for the 2 fragments, I've already got them. 110 million, 0.1. 3 instant repair, 10 blitz. It was 3 to blitz as well. Oh, they didn't snipe me. They're busy there. See, they've tried sniping me 2 or 3 times, but they don't like the fact my retribution is full of, what's the word? Scatterguns. Yeah, they don't like scatterguns. So let's just look at the overall mission tab. You get 110.1 million. This is me hitting 3 of them, plus I've hit 2 80s because I'm trying to get Berserker fragments. So you'll be on 330.3 mil. You hit 4 and it's excessively too much. You could go into a 109 and just hit one of the upper corners for a bit of points, back out, and go and finish off. Or if you did that, then you finish that target off and you would need to hit 3.5 more, I believe. Or you can just hit a lower target. It's up to you. The fleet works stupidly good in lower targets, obviously, such as 80s and 87s, if you want to do that for points. Let me just load up and show you the exact repair. As you can see, it's 3 coins. 1 hour and 23 minutes. That's the damage I took from the mines. 45 seconds. You can see why I give 0 shits about the mines, right? I'll instant repair that. Thank you very much. And the ship itself is 1 hour 22. You could coin it for 3 coins, or you could drag out another one if you build multiple. And as you can see, I've got 2 more here, so I can hit another 2 for free. And then I can put all 4 of them into a fleet, just stick them in somewhere and repair them overnight, or while I'm at work, or while I'm taking a very large shit. Whatever you deserve. It's not hard, and it is a way that lower levels can stop bitching about the 109s and start doing something about it and hitting them. It sounds a bit rude and forward, but I'm sick of seeing people crying that they can't hit the targets. You may be saying now, but Payne, you're using Vendettas. I don't have Vendettas. That's fine. Use something else. Anything that has remote target. I'm using these. These do it. I'm in the middle of a refit. Let me show you what I'm building. It's a fun fleet. And then we'll do a video about this actually when it's done. I'm actually refitting D morts on the old siege morts. Same premise as the Vendetta. Instead of having 2 Gales though, I'm using 2 Hailstorm Cs. I'm sticking to the countermeasure loaders. We're using Speed System 5 because these are slow, they need as much speed as they can get. Explosive System 4 because I don't have Combustion System. This works completely fine. It is in the mission to win, so if you don't have it, you can win it in the mission. It's one of the first prizes, if not the first prize in the top level. And then I'm using Splash Upgrade because there's no need for any defense or any other bonuses. I want to just kill as fast as I can, and these morts do lack a bit on Splash compared to newer ones. You can improve that with retro. Actually, it does improve the splash. Now, why am I using these morts over other morts? Am I just being crazy? No, these morts have the most damage per shell to any mort in the game. That's right, 7,400 building damage per salvo, and the salvo is 9 seconds, and also 3,700 normal damage. The range is a bit lower, but we're using remote range. I'm not that bothered. So let's have a look. 7,400. We're going to compare it to my Vendetta. Let's have a look. A Judgment Mort has 6,100. So we already have more damage, and this is firing 2 salvos. So it's actually only 3,050 damage per salvo. Don't forget that there are no countermeasures in these targets to shoot down morts, so you do not need to worry about the siege morts being shot down. They are a really, really good mort to use, quick to build and fun to use because fuck it, it's old school. Only thing they're lacking is a little bit less range, 85 range compared to 90, and the splash is a bit lower, but we've got splash upgrade, we're all fine. Coaxial Firestorms, what are they? The damage is 3,678 over 3 salvos. That's like 1,200 and something damage per salvo. We've got 7,400. No, I'd like my siege morts, and I'm going to use them. I even thought about using them on here actually, but too many hails and gales in bases. One last thing, speed. Berserkers are slow, really, really slow. So what am I going to do? Nothing, because my shipyard is in effect. I'll show you. Someone's bleeping on me on Discord. They can wait. Phantom Hellray. No, let's have a look. So, with a Berserker, it's definitely not a Defender. It's definitely not a fucking Conqueror. Long gone the days. We're using speed 5. Same as Hydraulic, but oh well, I've clicked it now. Don't need that. That's the only speed thing we've got. You can see my speed is 28. This is what I'm going to put on. Streamlined cadmium armor. I don't care about the armor points, thus the repair time bonus, the repair reduction isn't important. But we're going to fill it with these. The only problem is with these, it's expensive. 30,000 uranium and a hell of a lot of res. So yeah, enjoy that. But the build time, you can't see there because it's got everything else on. It's to hand. It's about 9.5 hours. Let's have a look. 3 days, 11 hours. So we're adding 1. 3 days, 20. Yeah, that's like 9 hours approx. So they don't take long to build. To build all 6 of these, I saw earlier when I went on the refit screen before I put the Phantom Hellwraith on. We're looking at about 2 days to put all the armor on. That's not bad at all. 4 days to build the ship. Did they really reduce the Berserker build time? Okay, there you go. There's another reason to build Berserkers if you don't have a ship to do the mission. This is what it takes in uranium though, 180,000. You can grab uranium. There's people out there to prep it. You can get it in mission. Uranium is not hard to come by. So I dragged on a bit there and started talking shit about the Berserkers. This is what I'm building. This is why. I think it's going to be a completely epic fleet. And I can't wait to show you how it works in the mission. I can't wait to see myself. I've got some time to go. I've got 3 of my old Berserkers here to change. But I'll work on that once this is done. I'll finish that. I'll get a 2-day token from the mission when I reset and then finish that. Put my Berserkers on. So that's the mission in a nutshell, which is a really big nutshell because I dragged it out. But I'm sorry for that. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll make the video with the Berserkers. I might make a base defense video soon. Who knows? Who cares? Thank you for watching. Catch you around. See you later.